Hello all, I'm talking to you again because we didn't get to talk about Number Corner and we're almost in the month of October. So I want to show you where I just finished the notes on some Number Corner stuff for October and what to focus on. So here we have the Bridges Drive. Okay, I'm going to go to grade level plan. I'm going to go to 4th grade. And then I'm going to go to this year. And then I go to teacher resources. Yep, so many clicks. And then I made a new folder labeled Number Corner. Okay, and look at that, October. That's the only one right now. You know, day by day. All right, so in here I have my notes for you right here for Number Corner. So you would click there and up would pop October's my notes that I have for you for this year for Number Corner. So here is Bridges' advice for this year, and I say from now on, of what to focus on, the big hitters, the heavy hitters for the month of October. So you can read through that and see that in bold, those are the things they're saying majorly to focus on. Now the additional notes, you can read through that, calendar collector and solving problems. They're saying you could wait on because calendar collector comes in unit 4 where we work with really big numbers. And then solving problems is just, as you know, takes a long time. So they're like, you could wait out on that one and just focus on these 3. Now my advice for this month, based on what Bridges says here, scroll down to see. So here's my advice. I'm saying to focus on 3 areas in bold, and then I'm also saying you could incorporate in the calendar collector and skip out on solving problems. So calendar grid, you would do this daily and just practice writing every grid marker that you get and you turn over, practice writing them as a fraction and a decimal. Yes, there is the money option too, so you could also practice writing it in money. But fraction and decimal are going to be your big hitters. Students could write these out in their own observation chart, like on paper. And here, right here is an example from Jennifer last year of kids writing them in on their own piece of paper for an observation chart. I will put a link in here, right here, for a template that you could use. Or actually, you know what? You could actually just use the one I made here for a Google Doc of it. The kids could also do it on their Chromebooks if you'd want to get technological and have them fill it in each day based on what they see. So I made you a Google Doc. If you click there, you're going to get something that looks like, let me just click on it and you can see it. So I just set up a template and they can type it in, right? They can type in what it looks like as money, what it looks like as fractions, what it looks like as decimals. Yes, it's going to be a little tougher to write those fractions in on a Google Doc. They could use the slash for a fraction bar. You could also insert and go to equation and they could practice using these up here. And you might be like, that is just going to be a headache. So you decide. I mean, kids get pretty good at stuff. So I can incorporate a fraction and write 2/3. See, that's really small. I don't like it. So I'm like, no, I'm just going to write it as 2/3. Okay. So you decide what works best for you, or whether you want them to go on paper or what, or maybe you just do it on a whiteboard each day. Okay. And then computational fluency, what to focus on there. We're talking the multiples up on your class number line. Now, if you did any of the multiples from the month of September, you would have done the multiples of 2 and the multiples of 3. So now this month, you'd add on multiples of 4 and multiples of 8. And my advice is to work on using the words like Lisa had brought up, vocab words, factor and multiple when looking at your number line. So I provided an example of what I might do. Like I might randomly pick a number off the number line each day and have a sentence that we need to finish. So if my number is 4 that I have people think about, then I'd finish the sentence. The number 4 is a multiple of, and then they'd have to finish it. I could say the number 4 is a multiple of 1. I could say the number 4 is a multiple of 2. Could I say the number 4 is a multiple of 3? No. All right, so that's practicing there and then finishing this sentence. The number 4 is a factor of, so then they have to think about that. The number 4 is a factor of what? By making use of that number line, okay? If you want to sing and dance about factors and multiples, I like this one song here of a class dancing to a certain saying, and the saying is multiples go higher, factors go lower. So they have a certain dance move for that. So if you're interested, you can take a look at it. If not, whatever, don't look at it. There is also a game that you may remember from the past called Put It on the Line that practices just computational fluency in general. So if you're interested in incorporating a game and you feel like you have time, go for it. The link is there. Calendar collector. This one was not one that was in bold up there, but I feel like it could be a fun thing to do with kids in a kind of quick way on a daily basis. I would choose not to play Race to the Millions, but maybe you're like, I loved that game. I really want to do it. Then do it, okay? My option would be just give them a big, cool number fact every day. So like, here's a number. So I'd say, here's a number. I'm not going to read it to them yet. We're going to practice reading this. Who wants to read it for me? Okay, good. You did it. All right, somebody else read it. Good. Get 3 people to read it. Then we're going to write it out in words, okay? And then we're going to practice expanded form. So I'm going to say, all right, take a look at this 5. It's a 5, but in that number, it's not just worth 5. How much is it worth? Write it on your whiteboard right now. How much is that 5 worth? It's a lot because it is in that place, okay? So place matters. Then once we practice that, then I'm going to say that number goes with this fact. What do you think? And here it is. I'd tell them the cool fact. There are 31,536,000 seconds in a year. Whoa. All right. So you would just find your own cool big number facts each day. That's just one I happen to use. Okay? So you could have fun with that. And the number wouldn't have to just go up to the millions. It could go to the thousands, or maybe it's just in the hundreds that day. Okay? All right. So I thought that would just be a fun thing to do, practicing with big numbers. Then problem strings are focused on ratio tables. And since we just started that in Unit 1, and it's a big thing that kids see throughout the year and in 5th grade and beyond, it would be good to try and get at least one problem string in a week where you're practicing with a ratio table. So what I did is I made a Google slide that you could send out as an assignment in your Google Classroom where kids could click on it, open it up, and work on a ratio table at the same time as you. And you guys are doing this together, but they have their own copy of one on their computer. So there's one about clay, there's one about eggs, and there's one about a water park. And I just changed it to make it about the water park in Grand Junction. Bananas that kids go to. So that's why I said maybe try to attempt one of these a week, or maybe you try for just 2 of them for the entire month. So if you click on here, this is the Google slide that I just put together that has some pictures of what we're talking about. So here's a box of clay. 1 box is how many sticks of clay. 2 boxes, how many sticks of clay. And then you just like ask them various questions. Like here are some notes if you want to get technical. Here is the notes for the ratio table. So you'd ask, okay, how many sticks of modeling clay are in 2 boxes? Let's use our ratio table to figure that out. And then you go to the next question. How many sticks of modeling clay are in 4 boxes? So instead of going to 3, you're going to ask them the question, how many are in 4? Can we get there without going to 3? So there are some ideas of what to do with the boxes of clay, and then ideas of what to do with the eggs, of where to go with the eggs. And then the water park one, I just leave that to you because there was one that was using the number 7 for the ticket price, but it actually cost $13 for a kid under 10 to go to Bananas. So, you decide how you want to work that, or maybe you don't even want to do the water park one. Okay? So I have boxes of clay, I have eggs, and I have the water park on there. One thing to note, this is a vertical ratio table. And this one here is a horizontal ratio table. So if you're like, I don't want to do a horizontal one, I want to keep it vertical, go for it. They just might see a horizontal one sometimes. When a kid is working through a horizontal one and they say, okay, that's 12, and then they need another column, they're going to have to go boop and then put insert column to the right. Gosh, they're learning so much this year. Okay, and then I go to 2 and blah, 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 blah. Okay, and I can ask them questions about the eggs. Alrighty, so that is all the notes I have for Number Corner October. And go forth and do math. Awesome job, guys.